Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the weekly general reading. I apologize for it being late. It's 8:48 exactly Eastern Standard Time right now. Yeah, this weekend it was really, really hot, and I was a social butterfly, although I'm usually not, well, I was a Gemini style social butterfly. I was outside. I wasn't necessarily socializing with anyone else. And last night I had to, or early this morning, I had to take my daughter to the emergency room to get a tetanus shot because she cut her foot on metal. And so I stopped doing the personal readings, and I was like, okay, I'll do them in the morning, or, you know, I figured I'd do them sometime, you know, the wee hour or whatever, before sunrise, and get them posted. But then my daughter proceeded to go to sleep in my room and was still asleep. Geez, probably around 12:30 this afternoon, I finally left the house. And so I was out again. And that's why they're late. I just figured, you know what? This is the day the Lord has made. Let me rejoice and be glad and get my butt out of here, since I can't do the readings right at this moment anyway. And then I spent more time than was necessary outside if I was only trying to avoid my daughter, because she was up and was texting me, where are you? Probably by like 2, 3 o'clock. Anywho, I'm here. I'm sorry. And I'm going to go to the sky this week at astronomy.com. But I want to tell you how much is going on this week. It's really a lot of stuff. And again, I'm not one for all this stuff with the shifts and the spacemen and, you know, who supposedly channeled somebody that no one ever heard of and all that kind of stuff. That's not my thing. I believe that everything is written. As a matter of fact, I've seen evidence of the fact that everything is written, that this whole thing is mapped out, and we don't need to do any of that. And people have been following like the cycles of the moon and all this stuff for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So why stop now? Basically, speaking of the moon, with that said, on the 26th or 27th, will be the new moon in Gemini. There's so much stuff going on. I keep getting confused. The 26th is definitely the first day of the month of Sivan. It's the next Hebrew month for us, S-I-V-A-N. It's also the start of Ramadan. Ramadan goes from Friday, May 26th through Saturday, June 24th. And, speaking of the 24th, May 24th, or is it the 25th? You see what keeps happening to me? It might be the 25th, actually. On the same day is the ascent. It's definitely the 25th, because I'm looking now at the calendar. Not the calendar that tells me what day it is, but the calendar at the bottom of my laptop that tells me what day of the week the 25th is. It's a Thursday. That's Ascension Thursday. That's the day that Jesus goes back to heaven. And that same day is also the feast day of Mary Magdalene de Pazzi, which is not the original Mary Magdalene, but Saint Mary Magdalene, who I believe, and it's implied at least, if not clearly stated, is a reincarnation of the original Mary Magdalene. She used to have these visions. It sounds to be, in reading about them, like similar to my own, where she would really be having conversations with God and stuff. I told you guys about the one that I had with Archangel Raphael early on when I asked him to stop moving the stuff around in my house on camera. I was like, people are going to think I'm a witch and stuff. And he got very annoyed with me. And so I was walking down the street on my way to the subway to go to school and talking to him. And when I got home, I realized I was talking to some friends on Facebook, and I said, okay, it's official. I'm absolutely nuts. I was talking to myself on the streets of New York today. I had an argument with an angel that no one else could see. I'm sure people thought I was a complete lunatic. But this is what she used to do. She'd be having these conversations with Jesus like he was her boyfriend. I think because he was, you know, like, again, she was a reincarnation of the original Mary Magdalene. Similar to how Pope Francis reminds me very much of Saint Francis, who, like myself, was an admitted seraph He was descendant of the seraphim. I believe that Pope Francis is too. Maybe not as closely, not as high a vibration, but I think he's carrying a lot of Saint Francis. You know. And why am I presuming that he's might not be as high vibration? Only because I haven't heard him be vocal about it, like, which I know that St. Francis was. He was out on Front Street, as they say, about the fact that he was a seraph. So anyway, a lot going on. Ascension Thursday, the feast day of St. Mary Magdalene de Pazzi, Ramadan, and the start of the month of Sivan. In addition to all of this that's going on in the sky this week, again, a la astronomy.com. Beginning with today, Sunday, May 21st, the sky's brightest asteroid should be relatively easy to find through binoculars or a telescope these next few evenings. 8th magnitude Vesta resides in the constellation Cancer the Crab, just 3 degrees north of the spectacular Beehive star cluster M44. To confirm a sighting, sketch 4 or 5 stars in the field of view and then return to the same field a night or two later. Vesta will be the star that moved, and while you're in the area, be sure to enjoy a view of the Beehive under a dark sky. You should be able to spot the cluster as a faint and fuzzy cloud with your naked eye, but M44 explodes into dozens of stars through binoculars or a small telescope at low power. Monday, May 22nd, dazzling Venus lights up the eastern sky from the time it rises shortly before 4 a.m. local daylight time until close to sunrise nearly 2 hours later. But this morning it shares the sky with the crescent moon. The pair stands 10 degrees above the horizon an hour before the sun comes up and looks stunning against the twilight background. Venus shines at a magnitude -4.6 and easily ranks as the night sky's brightest light after the moon. If you view the planet through a telescope this morning, it spans 28 inches and appears a bit more than 40% lit. Tuesday, May 23rd, the waning crescent moon dips lower in the pre-dawn sky this morning, where it helps point the way to Mercury. The innermost planet lies 9 degrees to Luna's lower left and just 5 degrees above the horizon 30 minutes before sunrise. Fortunately, Mercury shines brightly at a magnitude of 0.1 and should stand out through binoculars. A telescope reveals the planet's 7-inch diameter disk, which appears half lit. Wednesday, May 24th, the summer triangle asterism dominates the eastern sky in late evening. Vega, the triangle's brightest member, shines at a magnitude of 0 and stands highest of the 3 stars. To its lower left, Deneb, at a magnitude of 1.3. Its faintest of the trio, magnitude 0.8, Altair, completes the bright asterism. Despite its name, the summer triangle appears prominent from late spring until the onset of winter. 0.0, by the way, is cipher in the supreme math. I mean, 0 is God force also. Anyway, Thursday, May 25th, new moon occurs at 3:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At its new phase, the moon, okay, so moon is the 25th. I was debating that before. The moon crosses the sky with the sun and so remains hidden by our star. Because the moon reaches perigee, the closest point in its orbit around Earth, only 6 hours later at 9:21 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, residents in coastal areas can expect higher than normal tides for the next few days. At perigee, the center of the moon lies 221,958 miles, which is 9. Oh, that adds up to 9. 5, 11, 11 equals 9. Because that's the way that number appears to me when I look at it. 5, 11, 11. Because I'm weird. Anyway, the moon lies 221,958 miles from Earth's center. Friday, May 26th, although the moon passed nearly between the sun and the earth yesterday, it reappears as a slender crescent in the evening sky. Scan just above the west-northwestern horizon with binoculars about a half hour after sunset when the moon stands 5 degrees less than a typical binocular field high. You also should see Mars some 5 degrees to Luna's upper right. Saturday, May 27th, Saturn offers a visual treat all week. The ringed planet rises before 10 p.m. local daylight time and climbs some 30 degrees above the southern horizon by 2 a.m. Shining at a magnitude of 0.1, Saturn is easily the brightest object in the constellation of... Oh, they're doing it to me again. This is the serpent bearer, but they want to use that Latin name. When viewed through a telescope this week, I promise you it's the serpent bearer. It's Ophiuchus or something. I'm not sure if that's the correct way to pronounce it. That's why I was going to leave it alone. When viewed through a telescope this week, the gas giant world shows an 18-inch diameter disk surrounded by a spectacular ring system that spans 41 inches and tilts 27 degrees to our line of sight. Sunday, May 28th. Look high in the northwest after darkness falls this week, and you'll be greeted by the familiar sight of the Big Dipper. The Dipper is the sky's most conspicuous asterism, a recognizable pattern of stars that doesn't form a complete constellation shape. It makes up the body and tail of Ursa Major, the Great Bear. Use the pointers, the two stars at the end of the Dipper's bowl, to find Polaris, which lies due north for everyone north of the equator. Polaris marks the end of the Little Dipper's handle. On evenings in late May, the relatively faint stars of the Dipper arc directly over Polaris. And the Dippers are actually like the first constellations my divine masculine pointed out to me, you know, with our naked eyes, because he's into all of this stuff. This isn't even my like gift, but it is his. And he would show me like these constellations and stuff. Would be standing outside in his backyard. And I definitely remember like the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper too. But the big one, I think, may have been the first one he ever showed me. And then subsequently, you guys know the story. Well, it was most of you, those of you who've been watching me for a while, how subsequently God made me buy him a telescope for his birthday, even though we weren't even speaking. All right, with that, going to the cards, beginning with the Sun and opening to the Five of Fire. The Sun back. Opening to the Dreamer with Archangel Metatron. And I just want to point out to you, here's some more God force, by the way. 0, Cypher, and 19 for God, King Osiris. But also, I think this is Venus as the dream, because this card represents the planet, the sign of Gemini and also Virgo for me in this deck. I think this is Venus in Aries, although these cards otherwise don't necessarily represent Venus or Aries. Again, this one represents for me, it's the Fool in the traditional tarot, but this particular card represents for me the planet Mercury, which is a ruler of Gemini and Virgo. But Gemini's esoteric ruler is Venus. And I think that that's why it's coming through today. And this card represents the sign of Sagittarius traditionally in the tarot, although it's more relatable as the sign of Leo because the actual sun, Earth's star, the sun, is the ruling planet, quote unquote planet, of the sign of Leo. So this card can represent other fire signs too, Aries, Sagittarius, and I think that the two of these opposite one another are Venus and Aries. The Sun. Opening to the Two of Earth. Too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. Two of Earth, I'm not a fan. It's not one of my favorite cards. It can have to do with balance. It can have to do with not just balance in general, but finding specific balance between like work and play, sort of like how I told you guys, I just said, you know, to heck with work once I was put in that kind of position, screw it anyway, and instead went to do play. It's about, you know, finding time to do both, balancing work and home life, or career and home life. It also has to do with the need to make a decision attached to the earthly. So it can be like where to work, how much to work, where to live, with whom to live, all that kind of stuff. Just be confident that whatever the decision is, it will be right for you and there'll be a happy outcome. Opening to the Three of Earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. So in a general sense, this card can certainly be representing some sort of party of three or team. That's not necessarily negative, not necessarily having anything to do with romance or a love triangle, but it can. And with regard to things like work and stuff in our lives, This card is about your boss, so to speak, which can be the universe. It can be your client base if you're self-employed, you know, people, those who patronize you and things like that. They're sort of, you know, in effect, or like a de facto boss in that sense. It's those people like keeping a watchful eye on you for good reason, because they really want to, you know, support you, give you a boost, give you a pat on the back, recognize you in some kind of way, give you a raise, promotion, things of that nature. And here again, opposite the sun, you know, expect it to be something good. The sun back. Sun opposite the dreamer yet again. Maybe I'll make this the last one. Sun back, let's cut. And here she is, the Queen of Air herself, Venus. Independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. I was going to do the cross now. I'm still going to do the cross now, but you know what? I feel like, let me do it with these new cards. This just came over me. The Kyle Gray cards. That's the gentleman's name, the author. I don't remember what the name of the cards are. Here it is, the Keepers of the Light Oracle. Let's use these. This is random. I'm random. Let's go with it. The Holy Spirit. Expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. Wow, I love that. I don't know if I love having a person representative of the Holy Spirit as opposed to a Pentecostal dove, but I love this message. And opening to Isis, magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming a reality. Stay focused. And I know that I don't love this very pale woman in cornrows being Isis, but I'm going to go with this one too. Who jumped out? It's Paul the Venetian. Experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Isis back here on the bottom. I'm going to put in Paul arbitrarily. There he is. Opening now to the Divine Director. Intervention and purpose. Not sure personally who the Divine Director is, but let's go with this too. Isn't everything just random and weird today? I like it. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Isis back. And opening to Mary. So now Isis in her two vibrations side next to herself. Okay, this is the way she introduced herself to me and introduced myself to me. Isis, later Mary. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. So of course, Mary, the mother of the peace bringer. Who better to carry that message than her? Isis back. I'll go one more. It's Green Tara. Supreme protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation. Trust. Love it. Isis back. Queen of Air just ruling. Ruling today. For this week, I guess. Mercury. Wow. King of Air. Open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. So you guys heard me say on my reading on the 20th that I felt that not only that day, but from that day on, with Mercury getting the heck out of the way, no offense, Mercury, there would certainly be open communication. Self-expression too, a lot of self-expression. So those of us who are, you know, otherwise introverted, maybe finding outlets for ourselves, even if it's something as simple as, you know, what I did this weekend is my version of hashtag turn up, going outside and, you know, being around other people. Yeah. Is this with all the talk I did about Mary Magdalene and that Saint Mary Magdalene de Pazzi? holiday coming up for us on the 25th. Teacher awakens. But I just thought it was so awesome that both Jesus and Mary Magdalene were going to be celebrated on the same day. And I think that can mean a lot for us. I'm not sure if I was clear about why I was bringing all that up. I think that can mean a lot for divine couples, because it's like the divine couple of all time being celebrated on Thursday, each individually, and then we're going to celebrate them together, at least here on this channel. So with that, yes, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. This here is Mary Magdalene's position in this spread. I normally would have put this card here. I put it there already. I'm going to leave it there. But yes, this is Mary Magdalene's position. So I'll just go over what the positions are. This is my cross spread. Okay. And it started out with a cross in the middle. And then I added these 3 positions when Lent began. Or when Easter week, actually, the Easter vigil, when that week came around, I added these 3 positions. Mary, the mother of Jesus, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and Mary Magdalene here at Jesus's crown. So with that, this is what the feminine feels about herself in relation to the union right now. Faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm. Trust the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world. So this is about us being still, learning to be still with ourselves, to enjoy ourselves, like ourselves, love ourselves. This is very 9 of earth with a spiritual edge. I like it. The masculine about the feminine in relation to the union. Diana, focused intention. Okay, he's got his eyes on the prize, as they say. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. This is the masculine looking upon the feminine as like the golden ticket, Willy Wonka. You know what I mean? She is the high sights. She's the grand prize. Beautiful. About himself in relation to the union. Freya, phases and cycles. He's still going through this death and rebirth. I did a couple of personal private readings this weekend, and I saw that, not with these cards, but I saw this energy, the death and the rebirth. You see the crow here and the moon cycles that I was talking about in the beginning. This is all about reflective of like the cycles of life, you know, dawn setting, you know, on one's horizon. There is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. This is very 19 to me, because I call 19 the Alpha and the Omega, because that was the way that God showed it to me. 1 is a beginning. 9 is an ending. However, depends what mathematical language you're speaking, because 9 is also born in supreme math, for example. Together, they're a beginning and an ending and a beginning yet again, because when you add them together, the 1 and the 9 equals 10 equals 1 with 0 God force behind it. So it's like a never-ending cycle of endings and beginnings. This is what the masculine is seeing himself as, going through constantly deaths and rebirths. I was also talking to somebody this weekend about how when I recite the Hail Mary prayer at the, you know, she said, we say at the end, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. And I said, I realized probably about a year ago, we don't have one death. We're constantly dying and being reborn. We're constantly going through phases of death and rebirth. So now when I pray that prayer, you know, I'll say something like, upon each and every one of my deaths, you know, please pray for me, Mother. Amen. That's what I'm feeling here with the masculine. The masculine with regard to the union as a whole. Divine healing. The union itself is restoring health, not just to the individuals that are part of it, but the world, especially when we come together as a collective, when, you know, each of these divine partnerships and its healing energy, joining forces. Wow. What a force to reckon with this is going to be. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. This is also very 9 of earth, and the need to spend some time alone. And it can be alone as a union, alone as a couple, but pulling away, again, to recharge and to heal so that you can be reborn with a brand new light, stronger light to shine upon the world. Speaking of healing and all that, there goes Raphael. Overall, Lady Portia, divine order. Okay, everything is as it's intended to be, as it's meant right now. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding, but everything is happening like in accordance to plan. The outcome, Green Tara, supreme protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. What would the masculine have the feminine do or surrender? Soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. He's asking that she surrender this and allow for this. This is another thing for which you might need to be still, right? And just be. Focus your intention, just be, and allow the healing to occur, is what the masculine would like the feminine to do. What he's going to do or surrender. Cernunnos, life force. Express your driving passion. So this is that Mercurian, that Gemini self-expression I talked about. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. And, so it's like whatever needs to be expressed, unbridled completely. We're not going to hold anything back, letting go of all limitations to fully express ourselves and our passions. And what the universe would have the union, the couple, do and or surrender, both of them. It's Isis. Magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused is what Mother says. Awesome. Now I'll get back to more Mother in her other vibration as the Queen of Air. And actually, when I start with the Ascended Master cards, because I plan to use those too, I'm beginning with Osiris. How awesome is that? Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, witty, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you. This is cutting away, trimming the fat, as they say, seeing the humor in a situation. Opening 2, the Chariot with Archangel Metatron, an important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. This is you in the driver's seat. This is a divine push from the universe. This is victory, movement, moving, transportation, travel, everything in those regards going according to plan and working now that Mercury's gotten out of the way. Represents the signs of Cancer, maybe Pisces or Scorpio as well. Opposite the Queen of Air, it can be getting moving on cutting the bullshit. Opening to the 3 of Earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work, be a team player. I'm not going to spend too much time shuffling these because we already did. I had already cut. I had already done everything. And this was our overall energy. You know what? Let's just deal. I should have done that already. Masculine is the 7 of Air. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye. Poor timing. The energy of stealing one's joy. Surrounded by the Page of Air, which is a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, or somebody taking on those traits, those, behaviors. Page of Air is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. May drop a truth bomb on you or maybe the receiver of one. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans is another thing that the Page of Air can be here to notify us about. Also, truth delivered without tact coming from the Page of Air or being delivered. In the Page of Air, the masculine's rather subconscious is the Ace of Water, who is a Cancer like the Chariot, perhaps, or a Scorpio or Cancer, or someone taking on those traits or behaviors. Falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. The feminine, the Six of Water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. The Six of Water is the soulmate card of the tarot. It has a lot to do with children, family, for me, especially mirroring the Ace of Water. All Water or Cups cards can be reflective of children, family, in my opinion. They're all about love and emotion. So those that we, love and about whom we feel most. This is our family. But the Ace, the 6, and the 10 tend to mean children and or family specifically for me. So mirroring one another here, I think that there's something going on, perhaps with children for some. For others, this has to do with a soulmate connection, and it can be or past life relationship. So we'll see what it is. We'll go a little bit further because it can be the connection between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It can just be that, like we are just beautiful, these marriages that we have, with one another. On the other hand, this can be a relationship, a past relationship with somebody else, because it can be reflective of any past life relationship, including, that which some of us would call the quote unquote karmic. Surrounding the feminine is the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. In her subconscious, the 10 of Fire, too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. That leads to stress-related health concerns. Crowning. The 8 of Water, desire to move on. The search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. At the root, awakening with Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself in this time. This means, also represents the sign of Pisces, by the way, and as all this other water can. Maybe has something to do with Saturn. I just did a lot of talk about Saturn in reading from astronomy.com. So that's a possibility. Also may have something to do with a party of 3, possibly romantic, sitting here next to the Ace of Water and with the 6 of Water crowning. That doesn't mean presently romantic. Again, it can be an ex. We're still going to continue to try to dig deeper. But there's a need to, yes, fully be yourself, to not have any pretense or anything phony about like from where you stand. This is releasing your ex, at least to yourself, full self-expression, admitting, what you want out of life, with whom, all that kind of stuff when you take this step back, because you're going to have to take all these things into consideration. At the heart of the matter, the Knight of Water, who's emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative, and also a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event are all possibilities. The next card is upright. Let's use it to clarify the 6 of Water. The 8 of Earth. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic and or going back to school. So I think this is about the experience that is such as life, or that is life. That's what's being rewarded. We're getting life lessons out of this past life experience. They're not giving me much information. I'm going to look for the next upright card. But I'd like to know more about the 7 of Air too. So let's see what's up with that. Justice. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. So some of us, again, we're coming up against the energy of joy thieves, but they won't win. Okay. Justice also represents, by the way, the sign of Libra or other air sign, Gemini, Aquarius. The Page of Air. Release with Archangel Azrael. The end of a phase or situation. Spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. So you've been trying to end this phase for a while. You may have had a legal situation going on for some time. You expected it to be over by now so that you're envisioning your new beginning. This new beginning is here in your mind, on your mind, but it's been delayed. Finally coming around. The end of some sort of legal situation, perhaps, maybe a divorce finally becoming final. That was delayed. some other very like important situation in your life, not necessarily one involving the court system, but it's something that you're finally able to move on from. All right. The end of a phase. Release is the death card in the traditional tarot. And this represents the signs of Scorpio or other water sign, Pisces, Cancer. So this death had been deferred, but here it is. It's coming around now. The Four of Water. The World with Archangel Michael. So the feminine has an opportunity to exit some sort of situation or circumstance that has been long enough as it is. You know, like when you stay in a relationship or a friendship or whatever too long, you know when it's been too long. You know you needed to leave and you just didn't yet. It's that, this is the kind of energy of that. I call it the waiting to exhale card because it's like finally that's over. It can be a job that you stayed at too long. It can be again, a relationship of any level, romantic, friendship, whatever, that you stayed in way too long. You knew you needed to get up away from these people. You just hadn't yet. Don't miss the opportunity that's coming around for you to do that, because the continuing it, and you know this, it's on your mind, continuing whatever this is, as opposed to getting out while you can, while Archangel Michael, the universe, is here to help you ease out of this situation. So you too, like the masculine, can go into a new one, be eased into a new one. Like if you sit on it, it'll pass you by and you'll miss the chance. Awakening. The Five of Water. I think for many, especially sitting here underneath the Knight of Water, this is a romantic relationship. And we got the 1221 here. Equals 6 equals love on a more positive note, but we've got two like potential party of three situations. And I think for many, it's a romantic situation, and it's something, a toxic relationship that the feminine needs to exit. Here's the experience that it gave her, right? The lessons that she's learned. She wants to move on from them, you know, from the whole thing. The universe giving her an opportunity to do so, right? The window of opportunity is open, but she needs to jump through or else she's going to miss it. But she really, really should, because it's a stressful situation that can even cause health problems. It has caused a health problem. It's toxic. It's not healthy. It's already not healthy. But because it was something like, oh, I've been at that job so long, but I've been with this man so long. Yeah, we make each other miserable. I can't stand him. He can't stand me. But it's been so long. But we got kids together. But, you know, it's like those kind of all these things. So this is why you got to take the step back. But this is from where the oh, woe is me card is coming from. Like, I invested all this time and energy into this situation and my cup spilled. But yeah, but you got two beautiful cups still standing. We got to, you know, be thankful, not take that for granted, not take the Knight of Water for granted. Okay, because that's what's here at the heart of the matter. And that's what's still going to be here when this is finally, thankfully gone. I think we're good. I'm going to go on to our advice. Actually, again, beginning with the Ascended Masters deck with Father, Husband, Brother, Son, and Osiris. Opening 2, work your magic, says Saint Germain. Father, Husband, Brother, Son. Opening 2, El Moria, and clear and shield your energy. Clear and shield your energy. And Twin Flame with Angus. Yeah, I think for many, we're being eased out of a toxic relationship so that we can be eased into that divine one with the quote-unquote twin flame. That's why we have to clear and shield our energy. The masculine going through something similar. It may be another romantic situation. I mean, this hangman, this party of three crosses him as well. But he may have also a legal situation which may or may not have to do with, you know, romance. divorce. For some, it's going to be the divorce is finally final, or the child support, issue is finally final, and it's a dead issue. The custody or the DNA, because a lot of them had that going on, and this could certainly in that case be representing a child. This issue with this child on his mind: is it mine? Is it not mine? And he finally gets his justice, and the situation is dead. Clearing children energy. Opening 2, Isis, balance, career, and home life. Clearance children energy is back. I'm going to cut. I started to use the Isis cards today. Look at that. I just flipped it over. King Osiris is here again. And I didn't. I guess she said, you're not going to stop me from coming through. Crystals and Epona. Those crystals can be a means of the clearing and shielding of one's energy, and coming to artistic expression with Paul the Venetian. So again, taking us right back, full circle, back to the Gemini self-expression, and coming up with creative ways, to do that. I'm also going to get some advice from my Soul's Journey cards, beginning with discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Opening 2, self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Discipline. Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Discipline. And success. I know that there is no greater goal than love. On that note, I'm going to cut. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. And the overall energy is freedom, with more of this very blue, like all this Piscean energy and Scorpio energy that's coming through. We got more of that. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. And lastly, we'll give these a little shuffle just in case Isis wants to come back or Mary Magdalene wants to come back. And speaking of them, it's Gemini, it's the twins. The Miriam, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. Isis. Kalama, facing fear. Major spiritual changes. This is the death, the release. Are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Right, you're getting that new beginning, that new opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity. The window is open for you. Archangel Michael, the universe, wanting to help you to ease out of it so you can be eased into a new one. Isis is back. And opening to hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. Isis back. Charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven. Ask and you shall receive. And the overall energy here is Joan of Arc, the voice of truth. Stand strong. Focus on your purpose. Release the fear of persecution and speak your truth. Father says, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. They will inherit the earth. From this Soul's Journey deck to the masculine, Commander Ashtar, call to action, take charge, lead by example, and walk your walk. Feminine, Lady Venus is back, very appropriately. Downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. So let's be open and receptive to those. Pay attention. Masculine, service to you. I feel good when I can help others. Feminine, humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Very Queen of Air of you. From the Ascended Masters to the masculine, let it go, says Kuan Yin. This is more your release, more death to whatever is not aligning with you or vibrating, on your vibration or higher anymore. Release it. Death to it. Feminine, to you, detach from drama. That's this right here. And all the stuff associated with whomever this person is in your life, says Pallas Athena. For some, it may even be your older children or like siblings. Unfortunately, this just came from whom you have to detach. We also have the eights next to each other again. Justice is an 8. The 8 of water and the 8 of earth, clarifying the 6 of water. From the angels to the masculine, the Queen of Earth, who is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. And lastly, for the feminine, the 4 of air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. I hope that you all found this reading helpful and that you enjoyed it. Namaste, angels. I'll be back with love.